For game number 2. MC is an absolute legend. I love that guy. And I hope that we get to see some of him here in 2014. I'm sure that we will. Spawning down in the bottom left-hand corner of Frost, the red Terran player, up 1-0 in the series. His name is aLive. And the admin's going to be very angry when he sees that aLive has a decal.
he's gonna shout at him again. You know, you know, man, aLive would just be my favorite Terran of all time if he replies #YOLO. aLive, turn off decal. YOLO.
And down in the bottom right, the blue Terran player is going double decal duty. I feel like he did this just for the admin. He's like,
he didn't have this in the previous game. He just turned it on.
He's like, no decal.
He's like, you want the decal?
Let me show you what I think about no decal. It's O-Face He-Man.
You know what this reminds me of, Ben? My favorite Le Tot story of all time.
If this reminds you of your favorite Todd story, I hope it involves Todd striking this pose for some reason.
Oh, no. Not like that. But you know, once upon a time in the Intel 3 Masters, you played Warcraft 3 online, at least the early stages of the tournament. And there was also a rule that you were forced to play with, I think it was red and blue. But Todd really loved to be dark green. And Todd lost his first game of that tournament, and then he was down 0-1 against Elecdog, so he thought he was going to lose in the group stages of the Intel 3 Masters. And then the admin is like, Todd, red please. And Todd is like, oh, shut up, I play dark green. And the guy's like, Todd, you have to pick red, otherwise you get a penalty point. He's like, I don't care, give me penalty points, I'm gonna play dark green. So Todd wins, actually game 2 and 3 gets penalty points, doesn't really care, wins the next game and wins the next game. So somehow Todd qualifies for the offline rounds of the Intel 3 Masters, which he didn't expect. Todd ends up winning the entire tournament at $15,000, but instead has to pay $1,200 fine because he wanted to play with dark green. Because there was a percentage of his prize pool that was going to, you know, it all depended on how much he won, and Todd thought he was going to win like $100 or something like that. So he's like, yeah, I don't care about 10%. So only Todd had to pay $1,200 for playing with dark green. But if you ask him about it, he will say YOLO. And it was worth it.
He'll say, yeah, at least I got to play dark green. He'll probably say that the reason he won is because he was dark green.
Mm-hmm. But deep inside, I think you're gonna regret it.
Deep inside, he's like, man.
I know dark green is pretty and all, but
I could sure use $1,200 right now.
By the way, we can see KoMa opening up a little different this time, Ben. No crazy command center first, which would definitely be a little more crazy on Frost. We can just see the Rex go down. I can actually play with game sounds again, as it was bugged in the previous games to turn it off. Now I can finally hear what we're looking at again.
Looks like KoMa and aLive are both using pretty similar builds this time. Both gonna opt for the Banshee. KoMa saying, hey, that worked out pretty well in game number 1. Maybe I'll try it in game number 2. I just love this. This is the most amazing thing. I'm gonna have to start a clan and get an amazing decal and hope that this shows up on ladder.
But I wonder if, like, doesn't Blizzard check that? Otherwise, like, some horrible things are gonna be shown on
I
decals.
can just imagine.
Oh, my mind is way too bad for that. This is dangerous.
This is the future right here.
You're playing a dangerous game, Blizzard.
What if I told you that letting people pick whatever decal they want is not a good idea? Morpheus meme.
Widowmine is in production for KoMa, while he's getting his own plug Banshee as well. On the other side of the map, I don't think aLive is getting a Widowmine. What is that? Why is that a second Rex over there, man? Why do I not understand that second Rex?
Maybe he's gonna 1-1-1. 1-1-1 plus 1.
That's really surprising, because I don't see that build very often. Anyways, we'll see. Cloak Banshee from aLive making his way across the map. Both players are going to follow it up with a Raven. The Raven from aLive is a tiny bit quicker though, but 10 seconds on the Raven can make the difference between losing 4 or 5 additional SUVs or not. Either way, Banshees high-fiving each other. There's a Widowmine, Ben. Is aLive paying attention? Is aLive paying attention? I don't think he is.
He doesn't see it. Oh no! Huge damage taken on the Banshee, and it's going to immediately have to run away.
Oh, 3 HP.
One more marine shot and it would have gone down. So KoMa finally catching a break here. In game number 1, his cloak is not quite ready and is not going to matter because there's a Raven there. So KoMa going to have to micro a bit if he wants to get anything done. Here in the early game, aLive, as we can see, is beginning to... Is he beginning to produce off of that extra barracks? Well, either way, KoMa's going to spot it. I think.
Not yet, but probably soon.
He's not going to spot it.
He's gonna see the tank as well, and he probably thinks like, man, that's a quick tank. At least that's what I would think also. I'm really not sure if KoMa thinks that, but if I was KoMa, I'd think that. He's gonna lose his Banshee in the long run. That's good news for aLive, man, because that second Banshee went down before he saw that, or that Banshee went down before he saw that second Rex.
Yep, and now aLive is on the move, Kev. He's going to try to go ahead and win this game.
And I really hope that he thought like, man, that's a quick tank. Because he didn't think that.
I have a picture of KoMa just kind of sitting there and like taking his hands off the keyboard and stroking his chin and think, man, that's a real quick tank.
No crazy SCV pool or something though, but aLive is still kind of going to commit to this. Taking a look at the army split right now, but that's slightly in favor of aLive, but not by a whole lot. That SCV is going to find these units make their way across the map. KoMa is going to try to make a stand on the low ground. Well, he's going to siege up. He has 2 Vikings over here as well. This is a little risky. It's good work, but it's all going to come down to the tank shots.
The Vikings are going to be so key. There's an auto turret being thrown down on the high ground.
The PDD is better though.
Well, not if it costs KoMa's breathing.
Well, actually, the auto turret is going to kill the PDD. Let's see. But still, he got a couple of free shots off on the Vikings, so he has air control. I think KoMa's in okay shape, Ben.
aLive's Banshee's able to go to work on the siege tank, and KoMa's quickly going to try to get over in the position to get rid of that. But he's going to lose the tank, and that's a little bit it's a little bit rough. It's now 1 tank against 2, although all of the Marines of aLive are very low on health, and actually KoMa maybe can just walk right through this to get close. Good spread on those Marines, and as he approaches these siege tanks, it looks like KoMa will be able to shut this down. An excellent hold.
It's almost a hold. Split up those units.
Hold. Hold.
Ah, that's a great hold. Great play there by KoMa. Really great play. And now it's 2 command centers, Ben, against 1.
And that's not a good spot to be in if you're aLive. And he doesn't even look like he's poised to really take another command center. In fact, he's still sending units across the map.
Yeah, KoMa is now going to send units across the map because I think KoMa thinks like, KoMa's going to throw down a scan. He's like, so, well, I don't really see a whole lot with this scan. It's a little unfortunate. He still doesn't know if there's a command center on the low ground or not.
Well, aLive only now starting his command center, so KoMa perhaps misreading the situation a little bit. Hard to say.
Yeah, it's hard to say. If KoMa knew what we knew, I think he probably felt great. He'd be patting himself on the back right now. He'd be like, man, that was a fantastic hold. I knew there was something wrong with that tank timing. But no, he doesn't know. So that's a little less fortunate. But he's still in great shape.
Yeah, he's definitely enjoying a quite substantial advantage. Double orbital. He's got 36 SCVs to 29. And maybe he does realize his advantage, because we are seeing a Widow Mine make its way across the map. It's going to get intercepted by a Banshee and killed.
Yeah, at least that Widow Mine saw the Banshee. This is going to save KoMa a little bit of a headache. He does not have that Raven anymore, though, so that does kind of suck.
Yep, and he's also not going to have a turret up in time. So once again, aLive managing to find a pretty big opening with this Banshee. He's going to get a lot of SCV kills, and KoMa's not really reacting to it in the way that I think he should. He's going to sit here and just chain build this missile turret. Ends up costing him 7 SCVs.
At the same time, we have a pretty big fight in the middle of the map, though. It seems like aLive is going to get a better exchange this time. He's going to land that Viking as well. That's going to soak up some shots. These tanks are suddenly really low on HP, and what looked like an excellent game for KoMa.
No, and the Banshee's going to come over.
Into a disaster.
That's going to pick off 2 more siege tanks, and now KoMa's in trouble. It's 1 tank, soon to be 1 tank. Yeah, 1 tank against 3, and this is going to force the SCVs off the line. SCVs are actually very good against the siege tanks. But still, with the scoot and shoot, the Marine being there, the Banshee being there, oh no, this could just be game-ending damage. KoMa is taking massive, massive losses to his economy here.
He still had a worker lead, just now he's falling behind in work. Can he get another tank out? Where is your next tank? He didn't have a tank in production, that could be very bad. Army supply shows us it's only 16 against, if these tanks siege up.
I don't think that's going to happen. They don't really have time to siege up, but with the Marine reinforcements coming forward, actually.
Stim is about to finish up though. And when Stim finishes up...
That's a questionable siege. Here we go. aLive is going to make his stand here. SCV is going to surround and very quickly disassemble that siege tank. Marines all being dispatched, and KoMa finds himself at 37 supply against 70. A very difficult spot for the young Canadian.
KoMa throws down another scan in the main base, but he still doesn't know whether this is 1 or 2 base right now.
Oh, and now doesn't have a scan for the Banshee. Loses a couple more Marines, and I think aLive is going to go ahead and put the nail in the coffin. Good game gets called, and just like that, aLive finds himself leading 2-0.
KoMa
his
was in
best of
great
5.
shape there until that second cloak bench he flew in the main, just when he was outside of the outside on the map with most of his units, and just before stim was done as well. Like he was upgrading stim. If this is all a little later, then he could